All right. Good evening, those of you tuning into the replay on YouTube. I am so excited to introduce our guest. Let me pull him up here, Jordan. I'm going to spotlight you here. So you always get that quick awkward. It goes from like everybody to all of a sudden you.
Nice. I'm here
Um,
for it.
but I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna join you. All
There we
right.
go.
Got that
Yeah,
set
don't
up.
me, don't spotlight me all by myself.
No, I know I hate that. And I've had people do it to me like on a call where it's not an interview and it's just like, I'm going to bring content. And I immediately, first thing I do is I have to go to the view and change it back to
Yes.
gallery because the last thing I
Yes.
want to do is stare at myself the whole time.
Exactly. Exactly. I've been doing that way too much. So,
All right. So those of you, again, really quick, if you don't have your cameras on, really want to encourage you to do that because
mm,
Jordan, who I'm going to introduce in a second, he doesn't give time out of his schedule just to talk. He wants to know he's making an impact. And so much of that for someone that's coming on and bringing the
yes,
best of their energy is feeding off the energy that they're getting back. So if you guys can show
absolutely.
up, again, if you're not in a place to show up, again, I'd rather have you here with your camera off than not here at all. But if you can have your camera on, that would be awesome. Jordan, what's going on, dude?
Man, I am fired up to be here. I have been thinking about this call all day. It's been on my heart, on my mind. I'm just so excited to be here with you guys. I be honest with you, I'm a little bit jet lagged still. I turned 42 when we were in Portugal last week, and something about like when you're traveling in your teens and 20s, you're like the jet lag doesn't bother you at all. Man, you cross over that 40 mark and you feel it a little bit more. So I'm on the recovery, but excited to be here, excited to spend some time with this group. And Jim, I just want to say from the outset, you are just someone who's inspired me greatly. And without a doubt, one of the highlights of our trip to Portugal was that day we hung around the pool and we drank Aperol spritzes and we just talked about the business and talked about life. And it was an absolute blast. So.
Yeah, man, that was so cool. I texted you before we even went to Portugal. So I just
Yes.
got back from Portugal with Am. Jordan was on that trip, and I texted him before that. I'm like, dude, I'd love to have you on a call. We're gonna be just coming off Portugal. I didn't realize how much the jet lag was gonna hit me though. Like Portugal time, this is like 1 in the morning, and
Yeah.
my kids are big Swifties, and Taylor Swift says jet lag is a choice. And I'm like, I think it might be a choice if you fly on a
Yeah.
private jet and you probably have a king size
Exactly.
bed and a masseuse. I'm like, when you're sitting in
Exactly.
economy and your butt hurts and you got people spilling over the sides and the cart whacking your elbow, jet
Not the
lag
same.
might not be a choice.
Not the same. I'm calling it right now. Love you, Taylor Swift, but not the same.
Not the same. All right. Well, I want to let people know who you are, Jordan. So you just
Yeah.
shot me some stats here real quick. You came to Symmetry in 2016. So you're
Mhm.
like 9 years here now. You're coming up on a decade here.
I am.
And it looks like you came in pretty hot. You came in 16. You hit agency owner the same year you came in.
I
You
did.
were agency director the next year, 2017. Blue
Uh-huh.
Jacket winner in 2018. That's a big deal, guys. The Blue Jacket winner is one in all of Symmetry World in an entire year. There is one person in all of Symmetry World that gets that. And remind me, Jordan, is that percentage, agency percentage growth year over year?
It is. Yep. So you've got to be a rad or above. So I won it in 2019 for year of 2018. Yep. And so I was a rad by 2018. And it's percentage growth year over year.
Okay. Yeah,
So
man. So good. So, like, again,
yeah.
you came in on fire,
Yep.
impact player 2018 and 2019. You're at
Mhm.
the 125% contract level,
Yep.
gunning for that top place.
Yeah, man.
You don't do anything for 9 years and not learn a lot of lessons along the way,
Whew.
Jordan.
I've learned a few.
I imagine so, man. I want to dig into some of that, but
Yeah.
can we from the very beginning, like, just take us back 9 years ago? Like, where were you at in life that you were looking for something,
Yeah.
and why Symmetry?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say I am an open book. There is no part of my story that I am ashamed of, that I am embarrassed by, that I don't want to, that I want to hide. So if there's something that you want me to stop and talk about and open up about that might help or serve someone, please feel free to ask. This is an interesting question because I get it a lot, right? Like doing this business, you're on calls and you get asked like where were you at, what was your story, and honestly it's a little bit awkward because I don't know if you've ever felt this, Jim, but you're like, well, how far back do I go? You're like, do I get like I was born here, this, that? It's always this awkward moment. You're like, all right, who am I talking to this? So I figured today I'll kind of give you a little bit more understanding. There is a lesson here in this, but we'll go maybe just a hair back from where the moment I was, where I found symmetry, because I think it might give a little bit more context and it might relate to some of the people that are on this call. And the lesson that I hope, guys, as throughout the whole arc of this call, this interview with Jim, there is one thing that if you walk away with, it will be the thing that over 9 years I come back to every single time. And the lesson is this business is not one, and I've got notes everywhere, some on my screen, some on my hand, my notepad here. I've been thinking about this call all day. So as things have come, I've just kind of jotted notes here. But here's the lesson. It's not one, this business is not one in how many awards you've got. It's not one in how many leaderboards you're at the top of every week. It is not one in how many people clap for you every single week on calls or on conferences. I've been on a lot of stages over the last 9 years. This business is not based on how many people doubt you. It's not based on how many people laugh at you. You're getting into the life insurance industry. It is not based on how many people make fun of you. Trust me, there's a whole contingent of people that thought I was out of my mind. This business has nothing to do with how many likes you get on your social media post. It has nothing to do with how much money or lack thereof is in your bank account. This business is based on one thing, and that is this is an inside out business.
Mm.
It is an inside out business. This business is based on something that no one sees. No one sees what is in here. No one sees your heart. No one sees your tenacity. No one sees your commitment. It's an inside out business. You don't get in this business what you dream about. You do not get it what you want. You don't even get what you work for sometimes. That's the truth. Like sometimes you work for it, you work for it, you work for it, you work for it, and you don't get it. You miss a promotion by $43. You are one writer short, right? You are, whatever it is, you sometimes don't always get what you work for, but what you get, what you are willing to become.
Mm.
And that's the message. You get out of this business what you are willing to become. So fast forward to my story here. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. I come from an incredibly middle class family. My dad was in ministry. Growing up, the idea of being an entrepreneur is for sure the idea of being a life insurance agent and being in the insurance space was not even on my radar. And from the earliest memory that I had, the blueprint for my life was really clear. It was go to school, get a stable job, earn a decent living. Back then, 50, 60, 70, maybe if you're lucky, $100,000 a year. That was a good income from where I come from. And raise your family. Like that was the path that was set out for me as the ideal path. Now, I don't know if there's any other black sheeps of the family on this call. Like if there's anybody that like likes to buck the system a little bit. Hi, my name is Jordan, and I am right there with you. Okay. So my life changed when something that was very unexpected came into my life. At 19 years old, there was a mentor. I met my mentor. He was assembling a sales team, and he looked me in the eyes and he invited me to dream bigger. He gave me a shot at a full commission sales role, and I took it. not knowing at all what I was getting into, but something clicked in me when I realized that making 50, 60, $70,000 a year did not have to be my future, but that I could get paid off my effort, not just my hours. And that is really where this love of entrepreneurship happened. In some ways, I'm like the accidental entrepreneur. I'm the farthest. If people knew me back in the day, they thought he is running a business. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. No one is more surprised than I am that I am here, that I am on this call, that I'm talking about this. But I'm so incredibly blessed. And so if you're on this call going, hey, like no one ever believed I could run a business. I went to school to learn how to be at XYZ, and that was the path forward. You are in good company. There's a lot of people that life insurance was not the first choice. Like there's a lot of people on this call. There's a lot of people at the top of this company. There's a lot of people in Portugal where Jim and I just were. Life insurance was not the thing that they thought was going to be the thing that was going to bring them a life of fulfillment. So that was certainly me. My mentor and I went on to build several other companies together. And right up until I found Symmetry, we were running an in-house marketing agency for actually another pretty big insurance firm. We focused on IULs and annuities, and I had kind of gone all in with that, man. Like it was that was the thing that I thought was going to be my ticket. I think what no one really saw, Jim, was I was exhausted. I was
Mm.
newly married. I worked 12 to 14 hours a day, 5 days a week. I worked every single weekend for years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of doing this. And I don't know if anyone else has ever had this experience, but I just kept telling myself, gosh, the sacrifice is going to be worth it, right? It's going to be worth it when I get paid, when we cash out, when we get our equity, like it's all going to be worth it, right? And sometimes you tell yourself even when you're doubting, you're like, is it really going to be worth it? Like, is all this and what of it, and you're kind of trying to tell yourself, forcing yourself to think that way when really deep down you're going, I don't know that this is really going to happen. And so for my story, we built this thing really big, and I was absolutely exhausted. And one night, it all collapsed. There were some major issues with the leadership, with the founding leadership of this company, and everything that we had built kind of came to a screeching halt. And I did not have the luxury of time. I had to find something very, very fast. And that's right when Ashley Tarr, who, if you were on the national call today, you heard her win a couple awards. She had reached out with a warm market text. Hey, I'm looking to build my insurance agency. If you know of anybody looking to make $100,000 or more, I'd appreciate an introduction. And I said, I don't know of anybody, but I am. And can we set up a meeting? Me,
Pick me.
me. And so we went out for dinner. She was in Denver. I was living in Colorado at the time. My wife and her and myself, we went to Denver and went out for dinner. And on the way home, if you all are privileged to have a supportive spouse or partner or in a relationship, it can make all the difference in the world. But I am here because my wife asked me one question after that dinner with Ashley, and she said, "Would you ever want to do what she does? Because if you did, I think you'd be really good at it." And her belief in me was the thing that made me think, you really think I could? And sometimes all it takes is that person that can see our potential. For me, it was my first mentor, it was my wife, several other people that called that out of me. And honestly, that's why I'm here.
Mm. It's really cool. So text message from Ashley landed at the right time. And it's funny how that timing works too, because had she sent that to you, I don't know, 8 months earlier when things were on like, no, I don't really know anybody and it's not me, right? So sometimes it's like, it's got to land at the right time in the right
You
context.
never know. You never know. Like you just never know what's going on in someone's life. For all intents and purposes, what everyone saw on social media at that time in my life was life is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What was actually happening was it was crumbling faster than I could put it together.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we are.
And I'll tell everyone that like your symmetry story, Like there's always two elements to it. And for everyone in the audience, like I want you to get comfortable telling that. There are two parts. There's number one, where were you at in life that you were even open to something else? And that's what Jordan's sharing. Like, like on the surface, things look great, but it was crumbling underneath him. Every
Yeah.
one of you has a why were you even in the market for something else? And then the second piece is, hey, based on everything you could have done, what was it about symmetry that drew you in? And so in this case,
Yeah.
it was Ashley Tarr. Were you guys friendly? Like, did you know her? Did you have a
We were
relationship with her?
acquaintances. Yeah, we were I would say friendly. We weren't like super close, but we were friends through an entrepreneurial think tank that we both had been a part of at a time a couple years prior when we were both living in Arizona. So it was certainly, and we kind of kept in touch, like, hey, professionally, what are you doing? This and that. We kept in touch with each other's careers, but it wasn't like a best friend kind of thing. But it was certainly someone that when she reached out, I would be like, hell yeah, like I'd love to listen to what you're up to, kind of thing.
Yeah. So you had a respect for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you were
Still
like, all
do. I
right,
mean, she's
yeah, like,
incredible.
all right, I'll hear what you have to say. And I've been in that position too, where people have invited me to check things out, but by nature of the relationship, like I didn't know them and I didn't feel like they earned my time. But then there are those people where it's like, hey, would you check something out? And I'm like, might not even be looking for something, but based on my respect for you,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm gonna take
Yeah.
a look at this thing. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's cool. So you came in here and you came in on fire, Jordan. Walk us through that because that's not everybody's story. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people, I had a story of I came in here, this was hard, it sucked so bad I quit. You had a
Sure.
story of you came in here, you hit AO, you went on the AD and or Blue Jacket Award when like that that's different and you don't hear that a lot. So
Sure.
what was this start like for you?
Yeah, so the start actually, it sounds really fast the way you're describing it. But the truth be told, I submitted my contract May 2016. I did not write a single application my first month, not even on myself. Like I was horrible. I was so bad. Like it was really embarrassing. I mean, I thought I went in with all the confidence in the world, but nothing was happening. They were saying book 15 appointments. This is back in the day when I'm driving over all over God's green earth from one end of Colorado to the next, spending money on leads, spending money I didn't have, spending money on gas, showing, let me tell you, like if you've never done in-person sales, God love you. Like you are so blessed. Like there's something about going into people's homes that you don't really realize how uncomfortable it is until you've had to do it. And so for a month, I'm going in all these people's homes and not a single sale. And I'm calling Ashley after every single appointment. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? And she just keeps saying, give it, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'm thinking, is this really real? But deep down, though, I'm seeing everybody on GroupMe. I'm seeing everybody on these national calls, never missed a national call, writing 5, 10,000 a week. And I'm going, gosh, like if they can do it, it can be done. Like I don't even know these people, but I just if these people can do it, it can be done, which means I can figure this out, right? But I am truly, truly terrible. And all of a sudden, I would say after that month of May, June of 2016, I wrote 23,000. Okay. It's a big jump from zero to 23,000.
I'd say
It was
that's a jump.
not, it was not because all of a sudden I got good. I think, in my personal opinion, it was because I got tough and I
Ooh.
stopped buying my own excuses. I was willing to face the thing I was most afraid of. Okay. And for a lot of that, it's how we come across. So for me, this looked like recording myself on the phones 10 times before every single dial session. If you think it took a long time, it did. I would listen to myself to each one of those recordings and go, all right, I didn't like my tonality there. I paused too long there. My voice sounds too high, sound like a telemarketer. I would not buy from that. I coached myself because Ashley's in Tennessee. She's running a big agency, right? It's not her job to make me successful. Shocker. It's not Jim's
Wow.
job to make you successful. It's not your mentor's job to make you successful. Okay. Their job is to mentor you. It is your job to make you successful. You can get yourself out of whatever situation you are in. You can. Because when you do that, it will be because of what you did, not because of what Jim did. It'll be because of what you did, not because of what Christina Watts did, or any of the other Kelly Bush, or any of the other leaders. It's because of what you did. So take that seriously. It was not Ashley's fault that I was in the position that I was in, and it wasn't her job to get me out of it. She was there to be the guide by the side to help me, coach me, but not. So I took that very seriously. So for me, it looked like a lot of practice. I was so bad at appointments, Jim. You'll crack this up. I didn't even know the script. My first several appointments, I would print out the appointment script and I would have it pulled up to where the client couldn't see that I was reading the actual script. Okay. No wonder I didn't make sales for a month. But I
Jordan,
just got tough.
my early dial sessions, even when I came back here, I had a giant whiteboard and I hand wrote the intro on the whiteboard with the if they said yes, if they said no dichotomy. And even with that in front of me, and I was so scared, and I'm reading this, I had a guy's lead and a woman's voice answer. My script didn't matter. There was nothing
Yes.
I could read. I freaked
Yes.
out. I didn't know what to do, and I hung up on her.
Yes. Yeah, people are afraid of getting hung up on. I've hung up on leads because I didn't know what to say. You're like, you're like, they answered the phone. Like, that's what you want. You're like, no. Ah. It's so funny. Yeah, so I think that's what the jump was. So essentially kind of getting back to like my rise, I think in June of 2016, started writing some good business and just started talking about it with people. Like, didn't try and recruit anybody. Just like, here's what I did, here's what I got paid. Like, I can build a team if you're interested. Like, it'd be awesome. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but like, come do it with me. It's fun. And like, if you think you've got to have some amazing pitch, like that was my pitch. It was like, this is awesome. I'm still learning. It's amazing. Check out this company. Come do it with me. Um, I think we overthink all this recruiting stuff. And trust me, I am like captain of that fan club. Like, if we can overthink it, I can engineer it into where you can't do it. Just start talking about it. Like, just start talking about what you're doing and why you're excited about it. And that's what I did. And I became agency owner. I came in May, was agency owner by, I think, September, because I found some people that wanted to run just like me. And we just got to work. I don't know if the contracts were different back then. I don't know if mathematically it's possible to do that now, but
I think 7 months is the fastest you can do it now.
yeah, I think it was a little bit different. I think I did it 1 month faster than what's actually possible now, but it was quick. It was really quick. Those people created more people. They brought in more agents, and we just created an army. And 2017 was a great year. 2018 was a great year. We broke out. Um, I think we had 6 AOs total by the end of 2018. So it was an amazing, amazing growth. We were 125. Well, back then it was different, but
Yeah.
we were on the hunt for the top of the company. It was within earshot. We could see it, we could taste it, we could feel it. And in the middle of our run, um, again, like, I'm full disclosure, we yeah, there were some problems in our agency. There was some pruning that had to happen. And in the middle of our run to the top of the company, we had four agency owners that decided that this was not for them. And they had each one of them had their own personal reasons for it. And um, yeah, so we lost four agency owners. We lost about 30 agents really, really fast. And so then began the rebuilding process in 2019, 2020, and since then it's been rebuilding. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for the world. But those lessons in toughness, those lessons in mental toughness, in tenacity came in really handy. Because again, this is an inside out business, right? That's what this taught me is I have to become better, right? I've got to become better. Nothing's going to be handed to me. And so when all this happened, that was my message to myself is I've got to get better. I've got to get better. What is on the inside is not going to be enough to get me to where I want to go. So I've got to dream bigger and get better. And here we are.
Man, that internal toughness and personal responsibility is so important. And I think we bring a lot of people into this, and for a lot of people, put it too in the comments, is if this is your first professional experience in 1099 independently contracted sales, as in your first time in an entrepreneurial role, where
Yeah.
instead of getting paid for your time, you're really only earning based on the value you add. That's
Yeah.
for a lot of people, this is their first foray into that.
Yeah.
And so what would you say to people, Jordan, that are in that transition of learning how to move from thinking like an employee to thinking like an entrepreneur? What are a couple of
Hmm.
those things that they've got to adopt pretty quickly if they're going to win on this side of that coin?
Hmm. I think the first thing that comes to my mind, Jim, is like just the importance of personal responsibility. No one's gonna make sure you get up in the morning. No one's gonna hold you accountable unless you pursue it. Like no one is with a W-2 job, like you don't show up, you get fired. Like you're gone. Like your source of income is out the window, right? With this, that's not the case. Like if you don't show up, maybe someone would notice, maybe not, you know? And so there is a degree of personal responsibility, Jim, that I think you've got to learn and develop that skill. I think the second thing is to understand that you are taking responsibility for your life in a way that may be completely new for you. And no one makes this journey into the 1099 full commission sales world. Not only that, but we are a recruiting culture. So you are probably going to be encouraged and find a desire within yourself to grow and invite other people to do the same thing and to be a part of your agency. But these are all skills. These are learnable skills. And if you've never done it, like be patient. Like it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen. Maybe, I mean, maybe you could get lucky and it might happen for you overnight, but for most people, it's something that needs to develop and you need to grow into versus something that you actually achieve. So that would be my best advice is like lean into the discomfort of it and learn the skills that are necessary and fight like an underdog. I mean, one of the best stories that I love, I mean, I love a good underdog story. Like there is nothing that fires me up more. Like, and Tom Brady, he's always been somebody I've kind of looked up to.
You also
Um,
look a lot like
there
him.
is there's a slight resemblance. So I understand the metaphor can be a little cheesy, but he was the 199th pick, sixth round draft pick, right? Michael Jordan, I also share one of his names, he was cut from his high school basketball team, right? Lionel Messi, the one of the greatest soccer players ever, had a hormone deficiency which rendered him too small for most soccer teams. Now he is like one of the highest paid soccer players in the entire world. The list goes on. The president or the founder of Starbucks was rejected 200 times, 217 times before he found an investor. Like the list goes on and on and on. And like you will just serve yourself well if you kind of get this very healthy, not talking about bitter, but there's like a fight like an underdog, not like a chip on your shoulder, but kind of like I am in this to win this and I'm going to fight with everything I've got. And
Mm.
if you can do that, you will win fast. And it won't feel fast. It'll feel like you are fighting tooth and nail. But eventually, 9 years in, you're going to look back and wow, that was really fast. Like that
Uh,
was really fast. So anyway,
I love playing with timelines too, because people come in here and they put this so often on such a short leash. And it's like, if I don't do this in 3 months, and I'm like, why not play? Like I kind of came back here knowing I was playing a 20-year game, a 20
totally.
plus year game. So okay, yeah, I was gonna take some lumps and figure it out, but I'm not sinking or swimming in the first quarter.
Absolutely. Like I mean, I just that resonates deeply. Like this, when I came here, I was like, this is it. Like they're either gonna like get tired of my shenanigans or like I'm gonna die at this company. Like this is amazing. Like I am fully dialed in. I have planted my flag here. I have gone all in. I have no backup plan. So if it takes 10 years, like what would 10 years in corporate America get you? Like what would 10 years in whatever field or profession that you're thinking of right now get you? Probably not what 10 years can get you here. You know, and whatever timeline you are on is your timeline. And I used to hear people say that and I'd be like, yeah, that's an excuse for being bad. Like it's an excuse for being average. And now I kind of look at it with a little bit more empathy and quite a bit more grace and go, you know, there is something to that. Like there is a lot to be said for um, focusing on the process and not the result. Like the process will create the result, but when everything is so focused on, you know, hitting a contractor or hitting a certain promotion or this or that, which is all worthwhile, agency owner, all these things, that's amazing. And we celebrate the heck out of it. But focus on the process. Focus on the process that is getting you there and duplicate that and watch what happens to your life. Over the last 9 years, had some incredible success, had some tough losses, watched agents come in here and change their lives, had a baby, like built a family, bought homes, like lots of life has happened. That's amazing. That would not be possible. Traveled the world on insurance carriers' dimes. Like I've seen more of the world and not paid for much of it. Like it's pretty incredible. So when you think about night, like would I go back? Do I wish things were different or do I wish I wouldn't have had to learn certain lessons? Of course, who wouldn't say that? Like, but I wouldn't trade it for the world because of I'm here talking to you guys and I'm sharing this and I'm hoping that someone can find a nugget in this and go, you know what? I'm resonating with that. There's something in there for me to learn. So that's what I'd say.
One of the things I love about your story, Jordan, and I'm gonna tie a question to it because I don't think you can
Sure.
have your story without having mastered this. I've learned that one of the most important things you can develop is emotional stability.
Hmm.
And I think in your story of like meteoric rise on the stage with the blue jacket 130 gonna happen to losing your team, 4 AOs falling down, hitting that like, is this worth it, and having to fight and scrap. So like you've been at this like mountaintop moment, you've been in the deep valley, you've
Hmm.
stayed consistent through both. Man, how
Mm.
could people learn to copy and paste that level of stability when things are going great and when things don't seem like they're going great? That, I mean, that's a
Mm.
loaded question. But your
Sure.
story is one that resonates so deeply with me on the importance of developing that.
Yeah. I'll take a stab at answering it, and it might feel a little bit all over the place, Jim, but it hasn't it hasn't always felt internally emotionally stable. It may have seen it, but I think that if you're gonna make it in this business, you're just gonna have to be tough to kill. Like, and
Mm.
that is my superpower. Like, I'm not great at any one part of this thing. I'm just hard to kill. Like, I just don't really give up. And I think that that's a strength and it can be a weakness. But the emotional stability part, I will say this, and this has changed my business in the last 3 years, changed my life, changed my business. I was a personal development junkie, right? I would read every book. If there was a seminar, if there was a breakout, if there was a podcast, if there was a cohort, if there was anything that I thought could make me 1% better, I was on it. I was paying for it. I was buying it. And when we talk about being a personal development company, I have come to realize that that is more than just taking in information. It's also about processing your experience. And for me, that looked like sitting down with someone, a counselor, a mentor, a coach, and going, this is what I'm feeling. Am I crazy? I know all the stuff. I've read all the books. I've written all the journals. I've done the miracle mornings. I've done the this. I've done the that. I'm an Ironman triathlete, right? I'm used to getting up early and doing hard things, right? But I can't work through this. I am still feeling these things and I don't know how to work through them. And that's where personal development, I think, has really changed my life, where working through it with someone that is capable to listen and help you. Whether that's a mentor, whether that's someone in your life that you trust, if it's a counselor, whatever, that has paid dividends in my business because now something happens and it's like, yeah, I'm just not going to pick that up. Like, that's not mine, that's theirs. Every rejection felt personal. Every time you got shot by an arrow by an agent, they were struggling, and so you had happened to be in the crossfire of it. Every time an agency owner something didn't quite go right, and you got to take some of that heat a little bit. For me, it was always personal. There's always something I'm doing, always something I'm doing, always something I'm doing, and it was the personal development of going, some things are mine, some things are not, and I can support them, I can love them, but I'm going to be here when they're ready to really start working through it. That is what has changed my business. So I would
Mm.
encourage everyone to think about personal development more than just what are you reading and what are you listening to, but how are you engaging with that in light of your experience?
Like actually implementing the stuff that you're
Yeah,
reading. Yeah.
implementing it. Absolutely. How are you allowing it to change you? Like how are you allowing it to make you a fundamentally different person to where it's not just information in your head and something to do, but rather something that actually kind of resonates with you and changes you. So, absolutely.
I love that because, and I've experienced the same thing where you get around the personal development world and it seems like it's a world of consuming information. And
Yes.
so what are the metrics of like why are we even consuming it? And so I've tried to boil it down and I've told my team this, that if you want to know at the end of the day if you're developing, and that can come from, I mean, really at the end of the day, personal development comes from nothing more than just doing hard things consistently. So
Yes.
you can read books and learn how to do that. Life can teach you that too. But if you want to know at the end of the day if you're developing, look back, and are there things that are coming easier now than they used to?
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally, that's it. Are you running a mile without getting as out of breath as you used to? Down to emotional things like, does saying sorry without a but after it come a little
Mm.
easier? Does picking up the
Mm.
phone and making 300 dials, does that, if things are easier now than they used to be, you're developing, congratulations. If the
Yeah.
things that scare you today are the same things that scared you 6 months ago, you're probably not developing.
Yeah. So true. So true. Yeah, I mean, personal development is one of those things where I think because of the quantity of information out there in this space, and because that we are so incredibly blessed to be in a company that places such a high priority on it, um, it can get a little bit lost. Like there's so much out there for people to kind of tap into. And so I echo that. Like, man, if you're getting better, if things are getting easier for you, you are growing. Congratulations. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep, stop fighting. Like, don't fight it. Like, look for the next challenge. Look for the next thing that is going to call you out of that comfort zone and into your future, and then get comfortable doing that.
So much of mentorship in this company has been like
Hmm.
follow the leader, right? And we've got,
Mm,
so many success stories that we can come in here, and you're brand new, you're looking up at these names, you don't even know these people, but you're like, it can be done, I can do it. I imagine there's some challenges that come with, the game has changed since you started.
mm,
So like the way you started, and you're bringing on new people, but they can't do what you did
mm-mm,
because you played an analog lead in-person appointment game, and we have moved
mm-hmm,
online, digital, all this. And
mm-hmm.
so what are you seeing now, and what are you training and teaching like for new agents to get profitable quickly, since
Mm.
it's not what you did, so you kind of had to learn a new game too.
I did, yeah. And I would say at the beginning of COVID, 2020, Jim, when a lot of this pivot really began in more of a virtual selling kind of space. And I think the digital leads were starting to kind of trickle in at that point. My leaders, my agency owners, key leaders, we kind of got together and realized, hey, like if we're going to continue to grow during this business, we are going to need to figure this out. And there was a lot of trial and error there. And so for me, it looked like kind of diving in and going, hey, like I can't expect my agents to do something that I have no ability to relate to them in.
Mm,
And so it doesn't mean I'm going to be a top producer. It doesn't mean I'm going to be an elite producer in this space, but it does mean I need to be relevant to where when I give them a piece of coaching, they know it comes from a place of experience, as well as a place of their best interest. Okay, so that was kind of my attitude, is like it wasn't like a do as I say, not as I do, or do as I do kind of thing. It was more like, hey, I'm going to go in and show that this is still possible. And I learned this from Delaney actually. He had an agent that was complaining about leads are suck and da 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 da, and no one's picking up the phone. He goes, okay, give them to me. Like called him right on the spot. He said, hand over your leads. I'll call him. Booked 3 or 4 appointments in the next hour. Delaney's like 130 multiple times, equity partner multiple times over, right? But that always stuck with me because I'm like, all right, well, like if he can find time for that kind of coaching, I can find time for that kind of coaching, right? So there was that kind of thing. From a very practical standpoint, is like we set expectations very clearly. Like the first couple months are going to be difficult. Like you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn the process, right? You're going to learn the scripting. You're going to learn the activity that's going to be required to win here. And that is our sole focus. Is if someone goes through their first month and all they learn is the habit of how to have high activity, that's somebody who's going to be profitable in a matter of time. Like that's it. Like this is a habit thing. If you're in the habit of like kind of like piecemeal kind of activity where some weeks are really good, some weeks are really bad, some weeks are really good, some weeks are really bad by way of activity, that's exactly what your bank account's going to look like.
mm.
You know, it's going to be really good some weeks, it's going to be really bad other weeks. Like it's very difficult to build a business when your bank account's doing that. It's very hard. Like emotional stability often comes from financial stability. And helping people maintain that financial stability is really, really important. And so that's what our focus is. Like first 6 applications, from there, we're getting them on as high of quality lead as they can afford without thinking about it. Like I don't want them worried, like, is it pay rent or buy leads? Those kinds of stories are inspiring, right? We've all heard Jamie, I sold a Peloton, Jared Reineke, I was donating plasma, all those kinds of things. Those are amazing, heroic stories that most of the world cannot relate to, right? They will all look at those stories and go, that's amazing. But a lot of new agents that are coming in here going, hey, I just need to make an extra 1,500 bucks. Like it's a little bit too far outside the realm. So our focus is very much on like getting solid cash flow. Like if you can get cash flow coming in, we don't worry about profitability. I learned this from Edward Pritchett. He was like, you can't talk to an agent about profitability if they haven't been here for 6 months. Like you need to help them get cash flow. That is the thing that is going to help them. Get them cash flow, get them like money coming in from their effort. Then you start to work with them on profitability. Then you start to work with them on, all right, what could you do different? How could you improve that stack of leads? How can you improve your skill sets in this way? I think it was Pritchett. I don't want to give credit where maybe I could be misaligned there, but it was one of those guys. And so that really stuck too. So that's kind of our focus, is how can we get cash flow coming in to create the kind of emotional stability where people can stick around.
Man, emotional stability comes from financial stability. We need cash flow first, and then we can talk. That's brilliant, man. I mean, that's the recipe right there. You guys, if you don't have cash flow and you're not making money, you're on a countdown to quitting. Nobody came here to
100%.
volunteer. Your first goal in business is to stay in business. Man, that's so good. We are right up against time. I want you guys in the comments, not just to thank Jordan for his time, but can you let him know something that you're going to take away from this and actually go implement? You know, I speak on a lot of calls to Jordan as you do, and I'll speak for you here in that I know you did not give an hour out of your evening tonight to come on here to have a handful of people go, hey, that was a really good talk. That was a great story. Like, cool. You know your story. You know you can speak and share, and you're transparent, and you know you were gonna deliver, but you
Mm,
come here because you want to know it's going to make an impact, because someone that was
yeah.
thinking of quitting isn't going to quit anymore. They're going to just stay in business
Mm,
one more day. That someone's going to get curious to go
yeah.
learn that down the road. You know what? You want to do Jordan a favor? Tell him at conference next year, not even in a couple months. Tell him at conference next year that
Yeah.
you're in a phenomenally different place because of something he shared. That's why
Mm,
he comes to this call.
mm, love it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here, guys. That's why I'm here. So, guys, I just want to also say, like, it is an honor. I don't take for granted ever getting invited to a call, getting invited to another agency. So, Jim, thank you, man. Like, thank you for inviting me. And I'm just so incredibly grateful for this company. It's changed my life, this team. Excited to watch what you guys do. And I'm glad I was able to hopefully make a deposit tonight.
Yeah, love that, man. And we live an hour apart, so
Yes, I have some thoughts for
A
you.
Merry Mill weekend
I
is
have some thoughts for you on this.
good.
We will
We'll
connect
chat about
offline.
thoughts. I love it. All right, y'all. Have a great night. I appreciate every one of you. If we have not talked this week, it's because you haven't tried. My favorite agents are the ones that blow up my phone the most. Do not be a
Mm,
stranger. I am here for you. All right.
yes.
Good night, all.
Good night.